Welcome to I'm Just a Guy. I'm not a politician. I'm not a journalist. I'm not some expert on a panel. I'm just an average guy, looking at what's happening in our country and giving you my take. Today I want to talk about a topic that's been in the courts and headlines for a while now. DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, and the recent developments separating deportation protection from work permits. Let's start with what DACA is about. It's a program established in 2012 to protect young immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children from deportation, while also allowing them to work legally. It's been controversial because it operates through executive action, not legislation, which means it bypassed Congress. Supporters say it's a humane way to protect kids who grew up here and see the U.S. as home. Critics, especially from conservative circles, argue that it oversteps legal boundaries and incentivizes illegal immigration. Recently, courts have been weighing in on DACA, and there's been a debate about separating deportation protection from work permits. The argument some courts and officials are making is that deportation protection should be a separate consideration from granting work permits. In other words, someone might be allowed to stay temporarily, without the right to work legally, or vice versa, which complicates the program's original intent. From a conservative viewpoint that tries to understand both sides, it's important to recognize that DACA recipients face several significant limitations. Travel outside the U.S. is one of the major constraints. They generally cannot leave the country without receiving advance parole, a special permission that is limited and not guaranteed. Without this, traveling abroad can lead to losing DACA protections upon re-entry, effectively trapping recipients within the U.S. This restriction limits their ability to visit family, attend emergencies, or pursue opportunities abroad, creating a challenging situation for many. On top of that, DACA protections and work permits need to be renewed every 2 years, and this renewal is not guaranteed. This renew and wait process adds ongoing uncertainty, leaving recipients unsure if they will continue to have protection or the legal right to work. Moreover, DACA does not provide a path to citizenship. Recipients are granted temporary protection and work permits, but this does not automatically lead to permanent residency or naturalization. Becoming a U.S. citizen involves a legal process including lawful permanent residency, background checks, and naturalization, none of which DACA guarantees. So, many DACA recipients live in a legal limbo, protected for now, but without the full security and rights that citizenship provides. The courts separating deportation protection from work permits raises big questions. Does allowing work permits without protection from deportation encourage more undocumented immigration? Conversely, denying work permits while allowing protection might leave people in limbo, unable to support themselves legally. Both scenarios pose challenges to the rule of law and humanitarian concerns. As of now, the legal battles continue. The courts must balance executive authority, congressional power, and the real lives affected. Meanwhile, the policy itself remains in flux, creating uncertainty for hundreds of thousands of dreamers. So, what's the takeaway? The DACA debate shows how immigration touches on law, politics, and human stories. Conservatives emphasize the importance of upholding laws and securing borders, but many also recognize the need for a compassionate and practical solution. The ultimate fix should come from Congress through legislation, giving clear, fair rules that address both border security and the status of those brought here as kids, including clear paths to legal permanent residency and citizenship. I think this topic deserves honest, thoughtful discussion beyond the headlines and partisan lines. That's my take. You may agree, you may disagree. But I think deep down, most Americans want fairness, safety, and common sense to guide us. But what do I know? I'm just an average guy.